Thanks for joining us. We're going to pick up our studying on the book of Jasher, and we left off on chapter 8, I do believe, on the last segment. So we're going to pick up today with chapter number 9 in the book of Jasher. If you've been following along with us, get the Sefer app downloaded so that you can have access to the books that were removed out of your Bible. You must understand that these books have been mentioned in the 66. And were part of the actual 1611 King James Edition Bible, but some kind of way these books have been removed. And so I have a duty and a charge from the Most High to teach every single piece of information that I can after it has been verified and discerned by the Holy Spirit if it is a legitimate book. And you can find that the book of Jasher is quoted in both the book of Second Samuel and Joshua. And so that makes this book a legitimate book. Even in one of the passages, it says, "Is this not written in the book of Jasher?" And then on the second verse, it says, "It is written in the book of Jasher." But nobody wants to ask the question of where the book of Jasher is. Sounds like a scam to me. So we're going to get into the book of Jasher today, chapter number 9. Verse number 1 says, "And Haran, the son of Terah, Abram's oldest brother, took a woman in those days." So we're going to find out what happened to Haran, which is Abraham's brother, and which would have been the father of Lot. We do not hear much about Haran in the 66, but this is the story of the father of Lot, and it explains how Lot ended up in the care of Abraham. So in Haran, the son of Terah, Abram's oldest brother, took a woman in those days. Haran was 39 years old when he took her, and the woman of Haran conceived and bore a son, and he called his name Lot. And she conceived again and bore a daughter, and she called her name Milcah. And she again conceived and bore a daughter, and she called her name Sarai. So this is where Sarah comes from. Sarah is who is the mother of Isaac, the wife that becomes the wife of Abraham later. Haran was 42 years old when he begat Sarai, which was in the 10th year of the life of Abram. So Abram met Sarai at the age of while he was 10 years old. And in those days, Abram and his mother and nurse went out from the cave as the king and his subjects had forgotten the affair of Abram. So they forgot that they were trying to kill him. And when Abram came out from the cave, he went to Noah and his son Shem. So Abraham went to Noah and his son Shem. No mention of Japheth, no mention of Ham here. Very important to pay attention. And he remained with them to learn the instruction of Yahuwah and his ways. So Abraham learned the ways of the Most High from Noah and Shem. Not Noah and Ham, not Noah and Japheth, but Noah and Shem. And his ways, and no man knew where Abram was, and Abram served Noah and Shem, his son, for a long time. And Abram was in Noah's house 39 years. He lived with Noah for 39 years. We don't know any of this information in the 66. And Abram knew Yahuwah from 3 years old. 3 years old, he knew the Most High. And he went in the ways of Yahuwah until the day of his death, as Noah and his son Shem had taught him. And all the sons of the earth in those days greatly transgressed against Yahuwah, and they rebelled against him, and they served other gods, and they forgot Yahuwah, who had created them in the earth, and the inhabitants of the earth made unto themselves at that time every man his god, God of wood and of stone. Do you realize that the Catholic Church it represents the gods of wood, and the Muslims, they actually worship a stone? This is exactly what the Bible said not do, but we do it anyway. Which could neither speak, hear, nor deliver, and the sons of men served them, and they became their God. And the king and all his servants and Terah with all his household were then the first of those that served Elohim of wood and stone. So the king, we know the king is Nimrod. Terah, that's the father of Abraham. And Terah had 12 gods of large size made of wood and stone after the 12 months of the year, and he served each one monthly. And every month Terah would bring his oblation and drink offering to his gods. Thus did Terah all the days. And all that generation were wicked in the sight of Yahuwah, and they thus made every man his god, but they forsook Yahuwah who had created them. And there was not a man found in those days in the whole earth who knew Yahuwah, for they served each man his own God, except Noah and his household. And all those who were under his counsel knew Yahuwah in those days. And Abram, the son of Terah, was waxing great in those days in the house of Noah, and no man knew it, and Yahuwah was with him. And Yahuwah gave Abram an understanding heart, and he knew all the works of that generation were vain, and that all their Elohim were vain and were of no avail. And Abram saw the sun shining upon the earth, and Abram said unto himself, surely now this sun that shines upon the earth is Elohim, and him will I serve. And Abram served the sun in that day, sun God, and he prayed to him, the sun. And when evening came, the sun set as usual, and Abram said within himself, surely this cannot be Elohim. And Abram still continued to speak within himself, who is he who made the heavens and the earth, who created upon the earth? Where is he? And night darkened over him, and he lifted up his eyes towards the west, north, south, and east, and he saw that the sun had vanished from the earth, and the day became dark. And Abram saw the stars and moon before him, and he said, surely this is Elohim who created the whole earth as well as man, and behold, these his servants are Elohim around him. And Abram served the moon and prayed to it all that night. And in the morning, when it was light and the sun shone upon the earth as usual, Abram saw all the things that Yahuwah had made upon earth. And Abram said unto himself, surely these are not gods that made the earth and all mankind, but these are the servants of Elohim. And Abram remained in the house of Noah, and there knew Yahuwah and his ways, and he served Yahuwah all the days of his life. And all that generation forgot Yahuwah and served other gods of wood and stone, and rebelled all their days. And King Nimrod reigned securely, and all the earth was under his control, and all the earth was of one tongue and words of union. King Nimrod was an African Hamite. And all the princes of Nimrod and his great men took counsel together, Put, Mitzrayim, Egypt, Cush, Ethiopia, and Canaanites, all African Hamites. We learned this in the earlier chapters. This is why you must read the book of Jasher. It points out people groups that you must know. You are not African American, although they called you African American. You are not African American. The Africans were connected to Ham, not Shem. Mitzrayim, Cush, Canaan with their families, and they said to each other. So these were all African people that got together to try to build the Tower of Babel. Come, let us build ourselves a city, and in it a strong tower, and its top reaching heaven, and we will make ourselves famed, so that we may reign upon the whole world, in order that the evil of our enemies may cease from us, that we may reign mightily over them, and that we may not be scattered over the earth on account of their wars. And they all went before the king, and they told the king these words, and the king agreed with them in this affair, and he did so, Nimrod. And all the families assembled, consisting of about 600,000 men of Hamites. And they went to seek an extensive piece of ground to build the city and the tower, and they sought in the whole earth, and they found none like one valley at the east of the land of Shinar, about 2 days' walk, and they journeyed there, and they dwelt there. And they began to make bricks and burn fires to build the city and the tower that they had imagined to complete. And the building of the tower was unto them a transgression and a sin, because they were building a tower to try to reach the heavens to fight with the Most High. And they began to build it, and while they were building against Yahuwah of heaven, they imagined in their hearts to war against him. This is why this book was removed. Doesn't tell you all of this stuff in the 66. They were trying to fight the Most High and to ascend into heaven. And all these people and all the families divided themselves in three parts. The first said, we will ascend into heaven and fight against him. The second said, we will ascend to heaven and place our own gods there and serve them. And the third part said, we will ascend to heaven and smite him with bows and spears. And Elohim knew all their works and all their evil thoughts, and he saw the city and the tower which they were building. And when they were building, they built themselves a great city and a very high, strong tower. And on account of its height, the mortar and the bricks did not reach the builders in their ascent to it until those who went up had completed a full year. And after that, they reached to the builders and gave them the mortar and the bricks. Thus was it done daily. And behold, these ascended and others descended the whole day. And if a brick should fall from their hands and get broken, they would all weep over it. And if a man fell and died, none of them would look at him. Wow. And Yahuwah knew their thoughts, and it came to pass when they were building, they cast the arrows towards the heavens. They actually shot arrows into the heavens to try to kill, or what they thought to fight and kill the Most High. And all the arrows fell upon them filled with blood. And when they saw them, they said to each other, surely we have killed all those that are in heaven. So they thought the Most High allowed those arrows that they shot up into heaven to come back down with blood on them, so that they would be confused and thinking that they actually killed the Most High. Wow. For this was from Yahuwah in order to cause them to err and in order to destroy them from off the face of the ground. And they built the tower and the city, and they did this thing daily until many days and years were elapsed. And Elohim said to the 70 angels who stood foremost before him, to those who were near to him, saying, come, let us descend and confuse their tongues. The one man shall not understand the language of his neighbor. And they did so unto them. This is when languages began to become broken up. That's where you get your Chinese, your France people, your German people. All of this is when it happened, and it began at the Tower of Babel. And from that day following, they forgot each man his neighbor's tongue, and they could not understand to speak in one tongue. And when the builder took from the hands of his neighbor lime or stone, which he did not order, the builder would cast it away and throw it upon his neighbor, that he would die. And they did so many days, and they killed many of them in this matter. So they were dying as they were still trying to build this tower. And Yahuwah smote the 3 divisions that were there, and he punished them according to their works and designs. Those who said, we will ascend to heaven and serve our gods, became like apes and elephants. Wait a second. So the scamified lie that they told us that we came from monkeys, no, the Most High actually turned some of these people into monkeys and elephants because of their disobedience and their building of the Tower of Babel. This was removed for a reason, so that they could convince you about evolution and make you think you came from a monkey. No, some of those people, as we just read, became like apes and elephants. And that's why you look at an elephant today, and an elephant has the same emotional makeup as a human. A lot of people don't realize that. And those who said, we will smite the heaven with arrows, Yahuwah killed them, one man through the hand of his neighbor. And the 3rd division of those who said, we will ascend to heaven and fight against him, Yahuwah scattered them throughout the earth. And those who were left amongst them, when they knew and understood the evil which was coming upon them, they forsook the building, and they also became scattered upon the face of the whole earth. And they ceased building the city and the tower. Therefore he called that place Babel, for there Yahuwah confounded the language of the whole earth. Behold, it was at the east of the land of Shinar. And as to the tower which the sons of men built, the earth opened its mouth, swallowed up 1/3 part thereof. And a fire also descended from heaven and burned another 1/3. And the other 1/3 is left to this day, and it is of that part which was aloft, and its circumference is 3 days' walk. And many of the sons of men died in that tower, a people without number. That concludes our study on the book of Jasher, chapter number 9. Thank you for your attention. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to visit us online at www.kns-ministries.org. Be blessed on purpose.